Hey Homestead family, welcome back to the channel. For those of y'all that don't know me, I am Shay with Our Hands Our Homestead. In today's video, we are going to talk about the NCRS. A few days ago, the NCRS walked the property and kind of give us ideas about things that we can't get and things that'll help us out in the long run. This appointment was made probably like 4 months ago as they were booked up fully. In order for the NCRS to be able to provide you with services and contracts, you actually have to have a farm number. So if you need a farm number, you can go to this website right here, look for your local office and make an appointment with them to go in and fill out an application. And the application can be tricky, so if you need help with the application, go into your local office and fill that application out with them. Now, there have been stories that I've seen in the past on Facebook and other social media sites that some USDA departments are not as friendly as others. So with that being said, kind of go in with a grain of salt that you might get help and you might not get help. The USDA office that I went to was extremely helpful. Everybody is extremely nice. They kind of went through the documents with me that was needed, and pretty much I filled out the application there. I did have to go home to get some other documents, which was the deed to the property. I had to get some kind of form filled out from my bank, or a voided check that you can submit to them where they can actually direct deposit money into your account when you fill out some of these applications that provides you with money. So let's get back to talking about how I made the appointment with the NCRS department. Once I got my farm number from the USDA, I then put in an application for the NCRS, basically requesting a high tunnel tent. That is something that I am interested in. Y'all know I do gardening on this channel as well. I have a small garden and I'm looking to expand because I want to have a huge garden in the future. So I put in that application probably after November, and if I would have known what I know now, I would have put in that application even without a farm number. So you can still put an application in with NCRS. They're just going to refer you to get a farm number. So they kind of work hands in hand. But if I would have put that application in before November, I would have had a high tunnel this year. So I have to wait to see if they have extra funds available. And if they do, then I get that high tunnel. If they don't, then I have to wait till 2026. Once I talked to them, I scheduled the appointment. It was, like I said, 4 months ago. They finally got here. It was 2 people that came in 2 different vehicles. One was an NCRS truck and one was somebody's personal truck. I actually met them because I did not want to walk the property. So I met them in my side-by-side at the gate. They got in. We kind of introduced ourselves and talked about things that we wanted to put on the property and things that we saw in the future that we wanted to achieve, and kind of went from there. We drove the perimeter of my property. She had this tool in her hand, like this device that kind of showed where it started at and the perimeter of our property, just in case somebody moved those little pieces, those survey pieces that they put in the ground, which they did, and we'll talk about that later. So we ended up getting in the side-by-side and going, just driving all the way around. We got to the mesquite and she asked me if I wanted to clear some of the mesquite up, and I told her yes, we do, but it's kind of hard to clear the mesquite up because you actually have to go in down by the roots and dig the mesquite up. And she said, oh yeah, we can contract somebody to do it, or we can contract with you and you can do it yourself, rent the machine or whatever you want to do. So she wrote that down. So y'all know that we are getting bees. So when we walked to that section, she was like, are y'all interested in any pollinators? And I was like, oh, of course I'm interested in pollinators because we're going to have bees in this section. So we kind of drew a line going around the bees and for like a whole 360 area around the bees, so we can plant like different kind of flowers and different kind of bushes that have like pollinators to be able to help feed the bees and butterflies and just the whole nine. So we did that. We kept going all the way to the back of the property, and then she kind of seen where it was like erosion from the rain and how it kind of washed certain areas away from the property. So an engineer is gonna have to come out here and test that soil. No, we don't want them to come out. So they're going to have to test the soil to see what can be done to keep from the erosion going away. And, I mean, to keep the erosion from happening. And we kept going to the back. And, like, in the back part of the property, y'all seen in the past videos where if it rains a lot, it's pretty full with water back there. So we were thinking about digging a tank back there and kind of on the side, it's like a trench area that was made by the rain. So we were thinking about just kind of making like a check mark almost, but with a U instead of like a straight point. So kind of like this, a curved tank, so we can hold water for like our animals and get fish, so we can go back there and fish and everything. And then we drove around to the side where our property meets all four corners of the other properties, and she kind of did her little hand tool, said that's where our property should end. And we kind of went down a little bit further, and we didn't really talk about anything. She asked me where the high tunnel would go, and I kind of wanted it to go underneath the lines, but she said because it's a permanent structure, it can't go underneath those lines. And with the people that own that line said permanent structures can't go under there. So, you know, I lose on that end, but I can kind of put it off to the side. So I'll be able to put it in the area closer to my garden, closer to my shed, and closer to the horses, because I don't want to have to put it a lot further out and can't get water to it. So I'm gonna put it there. She did tell me that if you apply for a high tunnel tent and you don't have established dirt tilled, or you don't have the garden fabric down on where you want your high tunnel to be, you will not get it. So basically, however big your garden is determines how big of a high tunnel you can get. So if you put a 5x5 piece of fabric down for your garden, or you do lines, you till the ground for your garden, and it's only a 5x5, that's the biggest size you can get. Or you can get smaller, but that's the biggest size they allow you to get. So I want a big high tunnel. So I will be going in, and I'm unsure if I want to till, then put the garden fabric down and do a no-till high tunnel tent. I'm kind of interested in the no-till method because I think it's less effort. It's more work at the beginning, but less effort to keep it done. That's what I'm thinking. We're going to see about that. So, like I said, we are going to till first because we want to kind of get that moisture in the dirt, and we want to get that nutrients there so they can come out and be able to test it and the whole nine that they do once you start getting ready to get your high tunnel tent. So I'll probably till first, plant in the ground, see how that does, and if it does extremely well, then I'll probably continue that method. But if it does not do great at all and the rain kind of washes that garden away, then I'm probably gonna build up around it and do a no-till method, because I want less work as possible. And I plan on planting a lot of things, and you know, when it's just me out there and soon to be blessings, we need to make things go smoothly and get as much work done as possible, and make it easy on all of us. You know, Asia likes to be outside when she wants to be outside. Dee comes around when he wants to come around. So it's really just me, Bobby, and Blessings. A bunch of work, a little bit of people equals make things easy. So that's what we're gonna do. So after we talked about that, I did tell her that I wanted to start catching rainwater, and she was like, basically she needs a structure that is not a home site. So basically we could use our horse stalls, but they're not permanent. We eventually want to tear those down and either make a nice horse stall or buy a horse stall and have somebody come install it. So we're unsure on that end what we want to do as well, but we have that included on our application as well. So if it happens sooner than later, then it happens sooner than later. So the last two things we talked about was fencing. There is not a fence in the back part of our property, and there's not a fence down the side of our property where our driveway is. So we are gonna contract with the NCRS to get a fence down going on the side and a fence down going on the back. We do have a fence in the front part of our property, but when they were getting ready for winter, they came and cut a bunch of trees down. They took our wire down and never put it back up. NCRS stated that the people that took it down should have put it back up or should have fixed it, but they didn't. So the last thing Blessings is talking to, she is going to be a natural YouTuber, y'all. So the last thing we talked about was getting animals. You know, we still want to get the sheep. We still want to get cows and stuff like that too. But we're going to have bees in a certain area where the pollinators are. We don't want the sheep, we don't want the cows to go over there and mess with the bees or eat the pollinators. So we're going to fence in that section along where the bee boxes are. So basically, it's going to be like a little think. So basically, it's going to be an area. Are you copying me? I think she's copying me, y'all. So basically, it's going to be an area drew out where the pollinators is going to go. And a fence is actually going to go in front or behind the pollinators so the other animals can't get to it. And we're going to have an entry fence right there so we can be able to walk in and walk out. So nothing can actually bother the pollinators. And we're going to do pasture temporary fencing so our grass can grow once we move the animals to a different pasture. So, hey! So I'm excited about all of this. I hope this is helpful to y'all. Hopefully Blessings didn't kind of over talk me and y'all can hear what I was talking about in the video. There are going to be a lot of videos with her because she is not sleeping as much as she used to, and I'm usually here with her by myself throughout the week, so it's kind of hard to put videos out there and make sure she sleeps. So if y'all enjoy the videos with Blessings, let me know. If it's too much of her talking with me talking, y'all let me know that as well. And again, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.